Honor, disgrace and reputation are all calm. In the affairs of the world, it is good to come and go. In fact, the things that corrupt people pursue are nothing more than physical comfort, rich food, beautiful clothes, gorgeous colors and beautiful music, which are in vain after all. In the face of fame and fortune, honor and disgrace, Wang Yangming realized his best attitude towards life: yuan silence. The concept of yuan silence embodies the transcendent realm of everyone is noisy, I am silent, the center is harmonious, and I have my own true happiness. Wang Yangming believes that no matter in learning or in life, one must maintain a clear and stable state of mind and not be burdened by fame and wealth. Therefore, in his view, there cannot be too many thoughts of gain and loss. And his understanding of yuan silence coincides with the situation of learning. However, in life, some people are too greedy for money, and some people give too much money, which is not what yuan silence should have. Stingy and greedy people should know that marriage is the reason for success, because there will be no harvest without sowing. People who do good should do it without suffering and annoying themselves. Otherwise, it is not pure good deeds. There was a man who was very upset about his wife's stinginess. He said to his friend, "My wife is greedy and stingy, and she doesn't give up any money to do good things and good deeds. Can you come to my house and reason with my wife?" This good friend is a happy man. And after listening to his words, he readily agreed. When a good friend arrived at the man's house, his wife came out to meet him, but she was reluctant to bring a glass of water to her friend to drink. So the good friend clenched a fist and said, "Sister-in-law, my hands are like this every day. What do you think?" The man's wife said, "If your hands look like this every day, there will be something wrong and deformed." A good friend said, "Yes, this is deformed." Then the good friend stretched out his hand into a palm and asked, "What if it looks like this every day?" The man's wife said, "This is also a deformity." The friend immediately took the opportunity to say, "Yes, these are all deformities. Money can only be greedy, not given. Money only knows how to spend, but it doesn't know how to save. It is also a deformity. If money is to circulate, to be able to get in and out, and to measure people out." After hearing this, the man's wife bowed her head in shame and hurriedly brought a glass of water to her friends. Clench your fist, you can only get the world in your hand. Open your hand, you can get the whole sky. Clenching a fist implies being too stingy, while opening a palm implies too generosity. Such an analogy will explain the way of dealing with people and using money, which makes people suddenly understand. Most of the reasons in the world are the same. When people come to the world, their hands are closed, as if to say, "The world is mine." He left the world with his hand open, as if to say, "Look, I didn't take anything with me." Whether a person pursues fame and wealth or not often depends on one's concept of honor and disgrace. Some people regard their birth as their honor, the Duke and Earl. Pay attention to so-and-so family, so-and-so descendants. Some people take the amount of money as the standard, the so-called deep wealth. Money can make ghosts grind. Money is the sunshine, where it shines. And life or death, honor or disgrace lies in money. There is no disease, there is no money, and so on. These sayings reveal the current situation of dividing honor and disgrace by money. Although the specific standards of people who divide honor or disgrace by family background and money are different, their focus and way of thinking are the same. They all proceed from purely objective and external conditions, and regard these as immutable wealth, while ignoring subjective, internal and variable factors, leading to extreme and one-sided metaphysical mistakes. People who hold this concept of honor and disgrace often desperately pursue fame and wealth, resulting in these people in important positions always taking risks, and heading for the road of corruption and corruption. The greatness of personality is that it goes beyond the needs of desire and pursues the perfection of morality. When a person has no desire, he gives up the miscellaneous thoughts in his heart, and empties the dead branches accumulated in his mind. Only by emptying the mind can we maximize the freedom and independence of life. Only by emptying the mind can we reap the glory and glory of the future. Wang Yangming believes that all fame and fortune are just passing in the blink of an eye, and it often happens that gains are lost and recovered. To realize that everything may change as a result of the transformation of time and space, we can look down upon fame and fortune, look down upon it, and do not care about honor or disgrace. To be poor and happy is also a belief. In the Analects of Confucius, Confucius sighed as follows: eat sparsely and drink water, bend your arms and pillow, and music is also in it. It is like a cloud to me that unrighteousness is rich and precious. Sometimes, life is like a circle. No matter how magnificent your life is, you have to go back to where you started in the end. From this point of view, the way to be poor and happy does not necessarily mean not to make progress, but reflects a harmonious and moderate philosophy of life. Wang Yangming said in the first visit Longchang to the end of the Knot-Grass Nunnery, in the past, Yao and Shun had Maozi, and they thought it was courteous and happy. It means that Yao and Shun lived in thatched huts in ancient times, and they were equally polite and fond of music. Wang Yangming took Yao and Shun as an example to meet the difficulties from a high starting point. The third poem of The Beginning of East Cave was changed to Yangming Zodun Tian San as the following poem. This is the time and theory of this heart. Yan Hui's attitude towards hard life is quoted in the poem. A meal of food, a ladle of drink, in a bad alley. People can't bear their worries, and they can't change their joy. Wang Yangming said, although Yan Hui is far away from us, I am willing to be as poor and happy as he is. Liang Chaikia also said in the Yasha sketch, the value of the spirit of being poor and happy is even more difficult to explain clearly to utilitarian people in a few words. In the view of Buddhists, it is a realm of spiritual practice to be able to live in poverty and peace of mind. If you can do the same as a man, you will gain something. During the spring and autumn period, Yin Sun Shuao of the state of Chu was deeply relied on by the king of Chezhuang, but he was very frugal. Zhuang Wang gave it to him several times, but he refused to accept it. Later, Sun Shuao got seriously ill before he died. He told his son Sunen, after I die, you will go back to the countryside to farm, and never become an official. If the king insists on giving you something, you want the piece of bed that no one wants. Dormitory Hill is located between Chu and Yue. That is, in Gushi County, Henan Province. The place is remote, the place name is not good, and it is a barren, thin, sandy land. Chu people regard it as a ghost land, while more people think it is ominous, so no one has wanted it for a long time. Soon after, Sun Shuao died, and the king of Chu was so grieved that he planned to make Sun An a doctor, but Sun An refused in every way, and King Tuan had no choice but to let him go home. When Sun An returned home, he made a living by collecting firewood, and lived a very hard life. Later, the king of Chu listened to the persuasion of Yu and Meng and sent someone to invite Sun An to seal the reward. Sun An remembered his father's death, so he asked for the thin sand of the dormitory hill. According to the regulations of the state of Chu, the fief lasts for 2 generations. And if other heroes want it, they will be relegated to other heroes. Because the dormitory is so barren that the meritorious heroes forgot it when they invited the reward, so more than a dozen generations of Sun Shuao's descendants owned this land, and were able to settle down. The dazzling gold will cause fierce competition, and there are too many people on the Golden Avenue, so it is not as quiet and leisurely as the Dumu Bridge. Sun Shuao's non-struggle is not necessarily a lack of progress, but a harmonious philosophy of life. What is the measure of success in life? Is it wealth, power, or a quiet day with a light meal? In Wang Yangming's view, it is a successful expression to be content with living in poverty, to learn and master the ways of saints, and not to be disturbed by reality and fame and wealth to find their own meaning of life. Shuk Wei in the Ming Dynasty said in the Book of Girls and Scholars Moving Away, "What is it like to be happy to settle the poor and great scholars, but to work diligently to serve the swans?" If you can't extricate yourself from worldly fame and wealth and pursue the satisfaction of your desires, you might as well enjoy simple happiness in serenity. In fact, it is only natural that everyone has the dexterity of desire, wants to live a happy life, and wants to have adequate food and clothing. But if we turn this desire into illegitimate desire and endless greed, we will virtually become slaves to it. Under the domination of desire, we have to sharpen our heads for power, status and money. We often feel very tired, but still feel dissatisfied, because in our opinion, many people live a richer life than themselves, and many people have more power than themselves. So we have no choice but to rush forward, and overdraw our strength, energy and life in helplessness. Every man's world is his own making. If a person's mind is full of dexterity, it will give rise to difficulties, fears, doubts, despair, worries and so on. If a person fills his mind with difficulties, fears, doubts, despair and worries, it will be difficult for his whole life to get out of sorrow and pain. But if he can adopt an optimistic attitude, he can dissipate all the haze that blinds his mind. Life is like fleeting, life passes quickly between owning and losing. The spiritual space needs to be managed by ourselves. If the heart is full of snobbery, desire, and all kinds of calculation organs, where does the mind have the space to carry anything else?